Hi guys, welcome to the second episode of the Khana Prep podcast. I am your host MASOOD.
And I'm your host, MOHSIN. And today I have with me a very special guest, also a very good friend, a teacher, and somebody I respect really, really highly. And your name is?
Jahngir Zaman.
Jahngir, he is my personal trainer. I just want to give a big shout out. Make sure you follow his page, go on his Instagram page, Athletical Pro. And we're going to talk about, Athletical Pro and how, his experience has been over the years and my experience with him. Go for it, Masood.
Yeah, man. You said Jahngir, bro. It's Jahngir, bro.
There's so many different ways you can pronounce it, man. It's nowadays a lot of people ask me, and I'm like, just call me Jay.
Do you have a lot of white clients by any chance?
I've got a lot of white friends.
Okay.
Is
that what you say, Jahngir?
Yeah, but it's usually a lot of.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. No, really, primarily, it's exciting to have you on because obviously it comes on from a proper educational point of view. Because obviously you can get we work out, obviously everyone, we've just recently got into fitness. I mean, Mohsin has probably been in fitness more than me. I recently, I started my weight loss journey 2020, first lockdown. So I was kind of teething out the issues, but it's good to obviously posting videos on social media. People ask you oh, what'd you do? How'd you lose weight? What's this and all that stuff. But it's always good to have someone that's been doing it for a number of years. Is PT your only thing?
No.
So you're a personal trainer?
Yeah. So a personal trainer. I do cricket coaching as well.
Yeah.
So before I got qualified as a personal trainer, it was cricket was something that was installed to me from 7-8 years old. So I got qualified as a coach many years ago. So I was working at schools, but fitness was my number one thing.
You used to play cricket, yeah?
I used to play cricket, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, cricket.
Well, were you all-rounder?
You said when you were 7-8 years old.
Yeah.
I remember I've been training with you for a long time now. And there's a particular story you told me that got you into fitness many years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable you are sharing that story. But if you are, I remember you talked about a few stages in your training that you started training when you were very young, and then it helped you with your confidence and how you actually got into training. How you would finance it and how you would go to the gym and when there was not many gyms available. Do you want to just share that little story with us?
Yeah, pretty much. If I was to take you right back to the very beginning, at school, I don't remember missing a single PE lesson. It was anything that I had to do with sport, anything that had to do with fitness. I was in there. I was just obsessed. I would look around, other guys that were in the same team as me, and genetically some of them would have very good physiques, and I was one of those people that wasn't genetically blessed. And at the time you have different role models of motivation, from movies. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got Sylvester Stallone and all the Dragon Ball Z, and then you admire to have those sort of physiques.
Who was your main
Dragon
man?
Ball Z?
I don't think I had anyone sort of specific like that.
But you just...
I just wanted an aesthetic physique because I was into sport. I was like, I need to look like an athlete too, So like I said, I was obsessed from the very beginning. Cricket was the main thing that was installed from the get-go, the sport that I sort of excelled in the most, the one I spent the most time doing as well. And it got to a stage, I know you just asked me the question about how, it took different routes. It was, I was playing at a club. I was around 21 years old then, 21. And that season didn't go very well for me. I was struggling to hit the ball hard. And a lot of people would say, you can't hit the ball off the square.
Were you a batsman? Just
I was all-rounder, yeah. So I would do, but I'm primarily a bowler.
Yeah.
But I could do a job with the bat as well.
Were you a spinner or a fast bowler?
So I started off as a fast bowler.
Okay.
And then my coach saw me bowling some leg spin, and he was like, you know what, you got some potential there. Then I went into bowling leg spin, and that was quite successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the story, there was one season I didn't really do too well, and I was struggling to sort of hit the ball hard, and ended up getting a name of somebody that couldn't hit the ball off the square. And a few years before that, I was spending time in the gym, but I wasn't seeing no progress. And that was purely because I lacked knowledge. I didn't have knowledge on training or nutrition. I used to just go in there, do tons of cardio.
So quick question, how important is nutrition to training? As in, you said, isn't like a lot of people, and I think this will be very beneficial for the listeners, and it's been really beneficial for me, but just to hear it from somebody that's professional, somebody of your caliber, you know, as a professional personal trainer, professional, and I think you got into cricket to semi-professional level anyways. How important would you say nutrition is to that journey?
All right. The way I'm going to put it, I'm going to explain exactly how my journey sort of went and how nutrition played the key part. So a couple of years before that season, I was doing all the gym training and I wasn't eating enough calories. I wasn't eating enough food. I wasn't hitting my protein intake. So that's why I didn't really see a physical change. So, and then it got to a point where, you know, after that season had ended, I sat down and thought, you know what, let me just start actually learning about this. I'm doing everything sort of freestyled and I'm not getting the results I want. So I sat down, I started doing a lot of reading on nutrition. At the time, there was only a few YouTube channels out talking about fitness and stuff like that, and the information made sense. So my goal at the time was to bulk up, put some muscle on, put some strength on. So I got into a strength training routine and I started eating more food. Calories went up, and after 6 months, my physique significantly changed. There was a visual difference. It was the strongest I've ever been.
Were you like, just for context, like, were you like what was your physique when you first started? Were you skinny fat?
Skinny fat,
bro,
yeah.
same.
I got tons of
That's
content.
the worst physique, bro.
Yeah,
that's
and
the
it's
worst
like,
one.
this is what I say, innit? Some people are genetically blessed.
Yeah.
They're born with, you know, low body fat, you know, good muscle insertion. They've got a nice starting point.
When I started, I've always been skinny fat, and I'd always thought my body was really unique, because I was like, bro, like no one looks like me. Like I was seeing like people on YouTube, and like they started off with the base of either they were really skinny or just really bulky. Like as in when they were really fat, as in their face was fat, their arms were fat, their like whole body was fat. But me, like everything of mine was skinny, but then I just had a gut, and I was like, bro, like there was nothing. When I first started to lose weight or like get into fitness, I didn't really know what the technique was. I now know that if you're skinny fat, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the best way is to go on something called a body recomposition. Is when you basically get a low enough body fat to where, you know, your stomach is a little bit flat.
Yeah, so the muscle to fat ratio is a lot more balanced. Yeah. Like I said, I can relate to that. Yeah. And the goal should always be there is to focus on building muscle. You build the muscle.
Facts.
So everything's gonna even out. Everything's gonna look a lot more better.
That's what I think people get it twisted, because I remember like this is the issue with like just losing weight in general, especially in the Asian household, because bro, tons of people from our background, I mean, we're all brown, like we can all relate to just trying to lose weight in an Asian household, and like, you know, mom and dad always give their own self-diagnostic tips of this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, eat less roti, eat less, you know, eat more of this or whatever the case.
But you gotta say bless the parents, isn't it? I mean, you gotta say you gotta bless them as well.
Not only the parents,
they're like feeding you nice food.
But not only the parents.
Chawal with the ghost and the roti and the salad. But I think, and then MASOOD mentioned this a few times, and Jahngir mentioned, I mean, you can have, and I think it's important for the listeners, I think one of the worst thing somebody ever said to me, and the worst piece of advice is like, if you're training, you can never eat roti salad. And some of the worst pieces of advice you can give to somebody is, I think, rather than saying that the worst piece, rather than saying you can't have roti and salad, I think what we should, I think you'd be, you know, better to explain this, is you can have roti and salad, but salad that's healthy, you know, don't put so much oil in there. Because chapati yourself, you probably know how many grams of carbs there is.
It's like this. It's like this.
So that's Jahngir's line. You
carbs and protein.
Let me tell you this joke. So when we're training in the gym, right, and every time we do a bench press, right, and you know, Jahngir, you know, when you check him out form like that, his go-to line, right, and so if I need to put this in as earlier, it's like this, and then he starts. That's his go-to line.
It's like this. What do you mean? Like,
I didn't even. You know, a lot of the times you say something.
Like this, that's his line. Like, it's like this, and then he starts.
You know, a lot of times when you don't realise you say things all the time, and then somebody points it out, and then you say it. You say like, oh, hang on, I actually said it.
So give me an example. So I'm bench pressing. You'd be like, nah, it's like this. No, give me an example. So what would be the context of someone's in the gym? And why? At what point would you say it's like this?
So I'll get MOHSIN to do a certain exercise. I'll demo it. He'll start doing it. And then if I feel as though he's not done it correctly, I'll like stop. It's like this.
Like, look, basic. It's like this. So there's go-to sentence. It makes me laugh every time.
You just said it. Your go-to sentence is you know.
You know, yeah. 100%.
You say you know, like, and mine is bruv. I say bruv so many times, that I'll probably say it like 17 times in a sentence, and I'll probably clock the last 3.
You think you're getting reward for doing it, isn't it? That's being
No.
You know what it is? You just got to watch yourself back and pick out certain things that you do.
Jahngir, finish that story off, man. I think your story is very inspirational. Finish that story off.
Yeah. So, and also just going back to what Masood said, everyone has a different starting point.
Yeah.
You just got to work with what you're given, right? You can never look at the next person. They're on their own journey. You know, whatever God has given you, work on it. You know, everyone's got a different starting point. Like I said, some people are blessed, some people are not. Whatever your starting point is, just work hard, set a goal, smash it. So yeah, going back to your question, where was I?
So obviously you mentioned that you were
So it was about
smacking out
6 months in.
Yeah.
Started getting the knowledge about training and nutrition, put everything into plan, and first time I'd actually started seeing results. I actually started seeing physical changes, and then from that point on,
How did you ascertain results? So what when you said results?
Muscle.
Yeah.
I started building muscle.
And how do you know you're building muscle? Like, what are you looking at? What are you
I
seeing?
was looking in front of the mirror. I was taking pictures. I was getting feedback from other people and saying,
how important are pictures to the journey, by the way?
Massively.
Why? Like,
because they show a true reflection of what you actually look like. You know, you're not cheating yourself. And like I said, it's especially as a drug-free athlete, you know, you're looking for those marginal,
you know what?
small
I just got to
changes.
give a special recommendation here. Not even a recommendation about drug-free athletes, right? It's probably not relevant to most of the listeners here, but a lot of people, and I think again, Masood will probably have something to say in this, and so definitely you will have something to say about this. A lot of people see athletes that are on, they're cycling, certain steroids and drugs, whatever the case is. And then people look at them and they see it as an attainable goal.
Yeah.
And they're always trying to achieve that goal. And especially in the fitness industry, there's so much out there. And people look at it and mentally messes with the people,
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
You go to a national athlete and you're training and you're putting the work in, and then you put another athlete who is, let's say they're doing the same amount of training and they're on the certain, not that the drug athletes don't have to train, but the attainability levels, I think maybe you can shed some light on that.
You know what it is, you got to have a realistic expectation when it comes to fitness and when it comes to training. Like, just going back to what I said earlier, do not look at the next person and look at their physique and say, I want to look like that. Or, look at the next person's lifts, say, I want to try and get to that. Just make sure you're making progress on your own journey and just block out anything that's going on around you, because that's the most important thing. Like I said, there is a trend, and it can mess with you psychologically as well, man. Mentally.
I mean, it's messing with me right now.
Yeah, mentally. Yeah.
We've been training how long?
Like I said, I've seen more mental. I think it's more mental than anything else.
100%. How long have we been training together?
Well over a year now.
Well over a year now.
Yeah.
I started at 110 kilos, and I remember the day very vividly, right? And I think I mentioned this in the first episode as well. I'm going to repeat it again, and I want to link it to, your journey here. It was when I started about a year and a half ago, whenever it was. Life had got me to a point where I hit 110 kilos in weight. And one day, I literally at work, and you remember the day as well, because I remember you drove to me and you came to see me outside one of my offices.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was the day it hit me that I'm not in a bulking phase. Yeah. I'm not, trying to, I'm trying to get bigger shoulders or bigger muscles. I was fat. Yeah. Like, that was the conclusion of that statement I made. Yeah. And I was like, I need a good I need to train, and I need somebody who's going to educate me and I'm going to work with. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of PTs out there, I mean, Slough has no shortage of PTs, there's gyms and everything, right? Yeah. But I said, I need somebody who's going to be able to, and I think I told Masood this when I started as well, I'm like, Masood, I need to find somebody who's going to understand me, understands my schedule, understands my lifestyle, understands who I am, and can actually work with me. I don't want nobody coming into me and saying to me, you need to be in the gym 10 days, 10 days a week, with even though, you need to be 24 hours a day. I don't have that. I have 1 hour, or I have 1 hour in the day. That's all I have. I can't even do 7 days a week because I can only maximum stretch out 3 to 4 days because I'm working 7 days and other commitments. I need somebody who's going to make it work. And when one of the first things when I sat down with Jahngir, it was like, you know what? The level of respect and the level of appreciation was huge, was massive. And like the education that I received, and a lot of people say to me today, like, why don't you train? I'm like, look, I'm not a PT. Like, I know because I've learned it so much from you. I think more important has been that when I'm in a PT setting is about going there to listen to you. That's not my time to go and be like, I want to go educate myself. It's about I'm going there, I'm training. At that time, I switch off. Yeah. How important is that? Do you think? How you felt through that whole journey?
Oh, like I said, a lot of it I can relate. So when you're going through this transition of chopping down the body fat, and you're going through your fitness journey, I know exactly what's going on inside your head because I've been through that process. And what I'm looking for you to do is to have faith and trust me through this process. Like I said, I I can say things all the time, but you're always going to be second guessing yourself every now and again, and that's normal, you know. But like I said, it's extremely important for that client to have a good relationship with the trainer, and you got to firmly believe in his philosophy and know that this guy knows what he's talking about.
100%.
I think that's the most important thing. And like I said, if you can listen and you have the discipline and you're consistent, there's not a doubt in my mind I can take you there. If I can't help you with something, I'll tell you straight up. I'll say, listen, it's not my field. Go and see this person. You know, like I said, if I've done something myself, I've been through that journey. Been through 17, 18 weeks of straight dieting, no distractions. I've been through that stage where, you know, you're low on carbs and you're really pushing yourself to really trim down, you know, to that very, very extreme level of body fat. I know what that feels like.
How does that feel like?
It's not very good. This is like you do get some temporary side effects. You know, mood swings being one of them. You know,
MASOOD gets that without carbs.
If only that joke was funny.
That joke was funny. You just research it. There's you know, so many different side effects that you get, but they're temporarily because your body doesn't want to be in that state. You know, you're in a calorie deficit. You're restricting calories. You know, the expenditure is really high through the roof through training, nutrition. You're trying to get leaner. It might look good on the outside.
Sorry to cut you off, but I think for me the biggest issue was a consistent balance of just training and just getting through it, because you at some point, like you said, 18 weeks of dieting, that's a long time. How many months is that? That's like
4, 8, 12, 16, about 3-4 months.
That's like, I mean, for someone like outside looking in, people can't even fathom doing like 2 straight weeks of dieting, innit?
I've said it so many times, you have
why was it so consistent? So what I did was, I had a group of friends that were in the fitness industry. You know, I had attended a lot of the fitness expos, and I'd got into the fitness industry quite heavily. You know, my friend was competing, and my other friend was competing, and you know, I'd finish work and I'd say, "Yep, we got a gym." So first thing is gym session. You know, who am I linking up to train with? So I was surrounded by fitness and training, and just that's what all the conversations.
How important do you think that was for you in terms of, you know, being, you know, like being surrounded by people in fitness around you? How important would you say like an environment is?
Massively. You know, you attend like a fitness expo. You know, you leave that day and you're just filled with motivation. It's like filling up, you know, a glass of water. You know, it's just fuel up, and it's just a motivation. You know, you're pushing each other. You're both on, you know, on the same sort of paths, same goals. You're also trying to better yourself, and it's a healthy habit.
That's a really. I mean, I asked that question purposefully. I asked that question purposely because you know, that means companionship or having the right people around you is important in all fields.
Most definitely, man.
So as much as it is in fitness, I remember my teachers always telling me that if you're on a daily basis, always surround yourselves with people of good character. You know, don't surround yourselves with people. You know, like if you imagine you're training and then you're training with people who are always, let's say, drug orientated all day long, the likely chances that you're going to convince yourself one day to take drugs is highly likely. And my teachers would always give this example, you know, and parents, you know, even in marriages, you know, if you surround yourself in a good marriage, surround yourselves with good people, surround yourselves with good fitness people, if you surround yourselves with the right people in every department, something's going to brush off on you, you know. I think that you made a really good point there about, you know, that in training, the people around you is what, you know,
you're learning. Like I said, man, and I've always said it from the beginning as well. You know, you just got to have the mindset you want to approach it with is that you don't know everything. You're always going to learn something new. You know, you look at the most qualified people in the fitness industry, people right up, they're still learning, man. You know, you got to always have that mentality that you're always learning something 100%. New every single day. And when you surround yourself with people that are on the same sort of path, like I said, you're just going to better yourself. You're going to learn something new every single day, and, you know, you're moving forward.
I know what you said, you know, saying that, you know, you not knowing and learning is another thing. I sorry, I can't help it, but I have to say it. But when my teachers always said this, that half, I can't help it, but it just comes out of my mouth.
You always have to bring his teachers.
You know, for me, sitting here with Jahngir, he's my teacher. You know, sitting here with Sufyan, he's my teacher. You know, sitting here with you, he's my teacher. Yeah, of course. I mean, because I've got something. I was something to learn from everybody. Some people you learn more from,
Yeah.
some people you learn inadvertently. And I can sit in front of Sufyan talking about tech, and I'm sure he make me sound like a child in nursery. When it comes to food, you talk about flavors, and I'm thinking about those flavors. How do they even exist?
Yeah.
And my teachers will always say that half of knowledge is saying I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? There's a saying in Arabic and translates like half of knowledge is saying I don't know. You know, we very quickly say, yeah, I've got an answer to it, but it's very sometimes the best thing to say to somebody is like, you ask me a question, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's because when you say I don't know, you open yourself to learn
to
something,
learn,
to acquire something, take and more.
Yeah, I
things.
mean, like I said, so many times when you've turned up for a session, and you know what, I like it when my clients ask me questions. It keeps me in check as well, and it shows me that they care. So I was training somebody yesterday, one of my new clients, who's doing really, really well.
Not better
and-
than me though, but that's a different story.
Yeah, listen, man, you're number one. So he's
Even though he came like late today.
perfect form. He did a squat, did a deadlift, did an overhead press. You know, lovely form. After every set, you know, how was it? You know, can you record me? Can you check it? I'm like, listen, until I say something, you're doing fine. But I like that because it shows me that that person actually cares.
Yeah.
You know, they're questioning themselves. Am I doing something right? They actually, you know, they're not just turning up, but they actually, and also. There's times where you've asked me a question, and I haven't known the answer for, you know, it might be a certain topic, and I said to you, listen, let me go away, let me do a bit of research, and I'll get back to you. You know, like I said, you just always have that mindset. You know, you're always learning,
100%.
and not be like.
Do you feel? Sorry, you can finish.
No. It's fine.
Do you feel a little bit of pressure when you take on a new client?
No. If you honestly believe in your philosophy
Yeah.
and you back yourself and you know exactly what you're doing, there is no pressure. There is pressure when you don't know what you're doing and then you're taking on and you're just trying to, you know, freestyle it, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would never take on something that I don't believe that I can sort of handle and something that I can sort of manage.
Is PTing your main thing then? Like your main gig?
That's like my, that's in my heart. That's number one.
Like that? I mean, as in that's what you do full time. As in, like that's like your main.
It's a balance between cricket coaching
Okay.
and personal training. But with the cricket side of things, I run more the fitness.
Yeah.
So I've got athletes that, you know, we work on their CV endurance because, you know, they got cricket games coming up next season. So we want to make sure they're doing strength work inside the gym. So I'm setting them plans up.
Yeah.
So we sort of combine the coaching.
I had so you're basically in and around some sort of fitness within your day to day. Like that's your full time gig.
Yeah.
Like
Either I'm in the
people-
gym or
Yeah.
I'm in a leisure centre or in the cricket nets.
I wanted to ask, like, so for someone who wants to start out as a PT,
Yeah.
like who wants to get into PTing, like what's their first like 3 moves that they need to look at?
Listen, you got to educate yourself and you got to train, practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can talk about something, but you want to make sure that you've actually gone through the grind yourself, man, and you know what it feels like. It's like we had that conversation earlier. When you're, you know, dieting on low calories and, you know, you've done it for an extended period of time. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know, you got before you can tell somebody else what to do, you got to you know, have some sort of experience yourself.
But as in you've done that.
Yeah.
So say for example you've done that, you've done the hard yards, you know what to make of a body, you know how to like lose weight, gain muscle, all that stuff.
Yeah.
As someone who's starting out in the PT world, like as in someone who's to get into the PT industry or whatever,
Yeah.
what do they need to look for? Is it a qualification? Is it how do they get their first client? Where do they go to get their first client?
Yeah.
What's that step look like as a first?
So obviously you get yourself qualified first.
What's the qualification?
You need to be a gym instructor level 2.
Okay.
And you do that course. And
How do
then
you
to
get that course?
apply online, look around,
Okay.
look around for the nearest courses. There's so many different companies around. You know, just choose one that's reputable,
Yeah.
and just go along with that. So, firstly, you need to make sure that you've done gym instructor level 2, and to work on a gym floor and get hands on, you need to do your level 3 personal training.
Okay.
Yeah, minimum.
And is that free or is that cost money or?
No, you got to look around for it. It could be government funded. Like I said, you just got to do a research and, you know, look around, see where you can.
So
sort of get
that's the
yourself
main
involved.
thing. And is it essential working in the gym to get clients? Because I would assume like you work in the gym,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like a sales pitch to every single one day. Like
I mean, listen, the advantage is, you know, working in a commercial gym is that you got access to like many members. You got people coming in all day long. You can go up to people, you know, talk to them, and you know. So yeah, like I said, it depends. You just got to write down exactly what your goal is as a person.
Are there any type of clients that you don't like taking on? So I know obviously, like, I mean, me personally,
Yeah.
for example, when I like to work, I like to choose the people I work with.
Yeah.
Right. I like to know who the person is, what they try to do, who the person is.
Yeah.
Right. You know, for example, me and MASOOD, you know, we do Khana prep, we do business together. But we chose to work with one another,
Yeah.
right? You know, as in he chose me and I chose him to work together, and obviously, you know, we choose to do work together. When you pick your clients, do you choose your client, or are there certain red flags when a client comes, you know, I don't want to work with this person anymore?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can train anyone. As long as we've had a consultation, we've gone through a goal, and I feel as though I can help them, but we can work.
Because I know you're that confident, you know, Masood, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it to you, but Jahngir is that confident with his program that he actually gives people a free consultation before they, like a free gym session. Like, come with me, let me give you a free session, right? That's what you say. He brings them in, you know, he gives them like, you know, a free, like a whole, like, you know, plan, and then he's like, okay, do you know what? Before you even commit, you know, let's do a free session together. I think that's really amazing. I don't think anybody does that out there.
Yeah,
That really,
I mean, at least like the few PTs that I've dibbled and dabbled with, they've always said, oh yeah, my fee's like £800 a month. Pay if you want or not, bro. I was like, listen, you don't know what you're getting into, innit?
that's real confidence, you know, that's real confidence.
Yeah, like I said, man, I can work with anyone. Anyone that's got the right mindset, is willing to work hard.
Who's not the right mindset? So talk to us about what is the right mindset and what's the wrong mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so like someone who turns up late to the session, someone that's consistently cancelling, you know, I swear that's like one of the most annoying things as a trainer, because if I'm motivated, you need to be motivated as well. It's a two-way thing. You know, if you're serious about your goals, you show up, man. You show up. And I can see that in certain individuals. Like a lot of the times, I can just tell from the body language. The minute they walk through the door, through a consultation, I can tell.
What do you expect somebody to walk through? So when somebody, and you're right about this, you know, they say that a lot of people, I interview a lot of people on a daily basis, right? They say that when somebody walks through the door, the minute you walk through the door, you know what, you've already got a perception about that person. So when somebody walks through that gym door,
body language.
What are you looking for?
You know, what I'm looking for is someone that's hungry for knowledge, someone that's hungry to work hard, someone that's got the drive, the passion, and they're looking for that change. If I'm giving you 100%, I'd expect the same in return.
How many people do you think want fitness goals? Percentage-wise, how many people do you think want fitness goals but just don't have the mindset for it?
It's like this. A lot of people say they want something, but they don't truly want it. You know, it's just in the back of their head. They're like, yeah, you know what? What they really mean is, I would like to have a decent physique, or I'd like to have this, but they just haven't got the discipline to work hard enough to sort of
that's key, isn't it? Discipline.
Achieve it.
Key is
You know, like I said, it just comes down to your priorities, how bad you want it. You know, I told myself as a kid, I was like, I'm gonna get this goal. I'm gonna make sure I look like an athlete. I want to make sure that I've got some muscle in my frame and I achieve a low level body fat. I said that from day one, and I was obsessed with this goal, and it stuck with me. Like I said, I wasn't genetically gifted, but I was willing to work hard. I was doing everything. I put my body through.
100%. I think that's a key word, demonstrating. I mean, you can probably relate to that as well. Yeah. I can relate to that, and then obviously I have to, you know, give the very secret word. You know, my teachers always used to say about discipline. Right? I'm sorry, I can't help it, but you know, discipline is so important. Because a lot of people have certain goals in life, be it in work, be it in religion, be it in training, be it in marriage. They have certain goals, but they won't have the discipline to do that. You know, they'll want the end goal, so like, they want the end goal, but they're not willing to put the work in the process. You know, a lot of people, I mean, Masood knows the story. There's a lot of people, for example, who want to become footballers. Right? Every young child wants to become the next Ronaldo, next Messi, the next Cristiano, whoever they want to become.
There's so much talent. There's so much talent.
But no discipline. It's like they want to become it, but then when you ask them to go to train, how many people do you go see in a football training ground? They play football, and then the coach says to them, "Listen, we need to do 5 laps of the field." Oh, I don't want to play I don't want to do the lap. I want to play the match. But where is the true development of that player is in the training, not the match. You know, because that's what they're learning, that's what they're developing, and the hard work is, I think, what people don't want to put in.
I think the beauty of of that is the fact that I remember when I was 110 kg. So throwing it back to lockdown 2020.
Shout out to MASOOD, man. I've seen him grind in the gym, man. I've seen him grinding.
No, I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I notice these things, man. I see the regulars inside the gym, innit? So I know.
I mean, I haven't been a regular for like 3 months, but we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna get back into it.
Take the compliment, innit?
No, we're gonna get back to it. No, I appreciate it. We're gonna get back to it. We're not proper on it. But this is the thing. Like, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I couldn't see myself when I was 110 kg being a regular at the gym. I only got to a point, like, it was before coronavirus really hit. I got really sick with like a really bad chest infection, and I remember, bro, I've never been that sick ever in my life. I was like, I've always been keeping up to date with like my asthma and everything like that. I've always had light asthma, but this chest infection really hit me hard. I remember, I think at the time, like I said to these guys, listen, I can't like work, like I'm bedbound. I was bedbound for like 3-4 weeks, and then that's when I realized, like, okay, before I was really fat, I never really used to feel like this. That was the moment where I kicked myself up, and I was like, listen, I really need to lose weight. So anything I did, like, if not gonna lie, like the diet kind of was a slow progression. Because this is the thing, like, I don't like it when people like be like, oh, how do I lose weight, or what do I need to eat? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but people always bang on about this is a lifestyle change. You can't change your lifestyle in 24 hours. Like, let's be honest, like, it's hard. Like, for me, I had this particular lifestyle, and up until like probably a couple of months ago, this was my lifestyle. I used to get up. I never used to eat breakfast. I used to intermittent fast even though I was 110 kg. Yeah. How does that make sense? I don't know. You tell me. But I was 110 kg. I used to intermittent fast till like 1-2 p.m. Yeah. Eat a big meal, wherever that meal was. Just to eat that meal.
10,000 calories.
10,000 calories. And then I used to have another meal. So 2 meals a day, 2 big meals a day, and a snack. Yeah. And when I started losing weight, I was like, I did the whole 3 small meals a day, 5 small meals a day, juice, all that bakwas that people talk about. Yeah, I did it. And it never used to work out for me. So I was like, if I really want to lose weight, I have to stick to the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to. And I think that's what people kind of look over their heads, like the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. So instead of having like a massive unhealthy meal, I used to have a lot of chicken, a lot of rice, a lot of salad. Yeah. That was my meal one. I used to have a protein bar. I used to have Snickers protein before I found out they were haram. Bro, Snickers protein is haram. You can't have that, bro. Have you had it?
Damn.
Nah.
Nah, I'm joking. I had the ice cream though. Is the ice cream one alright?
Bro, I'm not sure, man.
Man.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. If I knew Snickers protein was haram, yeah, when I first started, I was like, bro, I wouldn't have lost weight. That bar of chocolate got me through so many difficulties, bro. Because it was like,
there's so many good ones out there.
You're eating Snickers. It's like, because it tastes exactly like Snickers. I mean, I don't want to give a sales pitch to Snickers, haram stuff, yeah. But basically, yeah. So my goal was eat a big meal, a snack, whether that be a healthy chocolate bar or anything like that.
You found a method that works for you.
Yeah.
And this is what I always say. Like I said, it's
we good back there.
It's a total number of calories that you take in. Doesn't matter how many meals you're taking. You can have 10 meals a day, yeah. But if there are too many calories at the end of the day, you're gonna end up in a surplus.
That's it. That's what. I mean, the main thing I want to drive home to like people listening, and maybe you can chime into this as well, is the lifestyle. Don't ruin your lifestyle because you want to look a certain way. Like if you eat at 2 p.m. 2 massive meals a day and you have a massive meal at night, keep that up, but have a healthier version of that. You don't have to change it up drastically. For who are you changing it up for? Like, keep that up. I did that for 7 months until I really understood, okay, now 7 months I lost 10 kg in 7 months, and then in 3 months after that I lost 10 kg in 3 months because I realized, okay, this is what I'm adjusted to and accustomed to. Now let's ramp it up. And that's when I took my training seriously. I started doing progressive overload in the gym. I started learning what that was. You know, that's a whole different conversation. Maybe you can chime into it. But then I realized, okay, this is what I need to do. And throughout that whole process, my lifestyle from when I was 110 kg to my lowest weight, which was 87, 88, I never changed my lifestyle.
Look, I train at 2 different gyms. And I would train him in the morning. And then the following day, I mean,
that's Jahngir's highlight today. He sees me in the morning. Yes, Dave said. Why do you think he's a bit upset today? Because he didn't see me in the morning.
And you know what it is? I'd train in the evening at the other gym. Yeah. And then the next day, I'd see him, and I'd be like, he's doing well, man. He's on track. How's he getting on? I'm just curious because I'm seeing the progress. And this is what I said earlier as well. I said I like seeing that, and I think it has that knock-on effect as well. You know, you started getting in shape. He starts getting in shape, and it has everyone around you starts 100%. Getting involved.
I mean, look, you know what you said about...
Like I said, these sort of things, don't ever think, even if I don't ever come and say it to you, the progress never goes unrecognised. You know, I'm looking across the gym. I'm focused on my training. I might come up to you and say hello, but I know that he's working hard. You know, he's made progress. He's gone from 110, you know, to a low level of body fat again. So... Like I said, the progress never goes unrecognized.
How important is the lifestyle change? Like, can you like?
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's not something that you do for 8 weeks 10-week transformation. Just listen, find a method that works for you,
Yeah.
stick to it. It's going to benefit you in the long run. You know, you're looking at longevity in terms of like your overall health and all that. And the most important thing is just educate yourself on nutrition, man. It's going to make your life so much more easier, man. You ain't got to be that restricted in your diet.
I agree with what MASOOD just said there about, and what you just mentioned about the lifestyle change. You know, one of the things I've had to adapt to is I don't get the time to find food, right? And the Khana prep has been a big part of my, and that was how that's how we started Khana prep in the first place. I was like, we need food. I need food. I don't have food to cook. I don't have food. I mean, right now I'm thinking what I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
So it's things like lifestyle adaptations. For example, and everyone's probably seeing this. And I know one of the people in the previous podcast said like I'm drinking water like a fish. But the thing is, if I don't have this bottle with me, I don't drink water. I cannot drink water. I will never go to the sink and pull the tap and drink it.
Yeah.
So I keep this with me, and now already, just to prove the point,
Get a couple of sips in. Yeah.
and just to drink the water. And by the time I finish the podcast, and by the time it's 12 o'clock, I know I've got 2 liters in my body.
Yeah.
And even if I don't have water for the rest of the day, that's one. And I think these small.
You found a method that works for you.
And that's it. And like Jahngir Zaman was saying to me, like we're going to the gym, and he's like, what's happening today? Eating. And I'll come in the gym. I said, like, I told him last week was a rubbish week for me when it comes to diet. Food was a rubbish week for me. Now I came in, and I was like, this week is crap for me because I'm moving houses. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I've got no food on the fly. I've had to order food. I've not had anything. Then MASOOD rings me up one day. MASOOD said, "Listen, I want to cook food." And MASOOD like comes in, makes some greasy burgers.
Let's
set this record straight. I didn't do that.
So he's the culprit, is he?
No.
I'm checking.
I haven't cooked burgers, bro. Listen, every time I went to his house, he ordered burgers.
Listen, make it fit your macros, innit?
It was a collective decision to eat burgers.
Okay.
But
honestly, I think from a similar journey to MASOOD's. Started 110 kilos, probably around about 86, 85, or 86, 87 kilos at the moment. I know I'm at the hardest point in my training right now.
Yeah.
I feel like all the previous way was easy. Right now,
it's the grind.
Right now is the grind. Even in the gym right now, you probably noticed the last 2-3 weeks I've ramped up the intensity, the lifts. I'm like, I don't care.
It's like a new MOHSIN coming in. He's reinvented himself. So I like it.
So how do people get over that sticking point? Because I know when you're dieting for a number of period,
like I said, you're gonna hit a plateau.
Yeah, you mentioned it when you were dieting for 17, 18 weeks in a row. There's before you see your ideal physique, there is like that barrier where my days it's not going well.
Yeah.
So how do you get over?
So in the initial stages, you're gonna lose weight very quickly.
Yeah.
That's water weight. Body fat, that kind of first couple of weeks kind of drops rapidly, and then it sort of evens out. Then the body fat continues to drop. Then you sort of plateau, and then you got to look at your training. You got to look at how are you progressing in your training? Is there some form of progressive overload? Are you getting stronger? Are you throwing in additional sets? What's the intensity like? So you make a progression there, and then. Before you cut the calories, say, okay, if I'm eating 1,800 calories, I've plateaued, shall I drop down to 1,500? The best scenario is to increase your energy expenditure first. Start moving around a little bit more, maybe throw in a little bit of cardio. Maybe if you're already doing like 15 minutes 3 times a week, maybe up that to 20 minutes 3 times a week and see if that scale sort of changes. So like I said, it's just making sure that there's progress. Have you plateaued because, you haven't progressed in your lifts? Have you plateaued because there's no progression in your cardio? Have you plateaued because there's any sort of external factors?
What's a realistic body fat percent? No, obviously you get your ideal physique, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're shredded. You're feeling good. What is a realistic body fat percentage to stay at realistically?
Genetically, it's going to depend. It's going to vary from individual to individual. Like I know my body fat. I know where my body's. It's called homeostasis. It's where it's comfortable. It's where your body goes to its original state. For everyone, that's going to be different. Some people's build and their genetics are different, where they naturally hold a little bit. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you can't. You get to a physique, right?
That's not attainable.
Yeah. You hit there. You can't. You can't live there.
No.
So where can you live?
This is
shredded.
This is being shredded.
Let's say you're shredded, Let's say you're shredded to your pieces, everything, your skin, you're dieted, you're at your point, right? Yeah. You hit that.
You gain a little bit of body fat from that.
So
right?
how
you go back to eating, say, calorie maintenance. You go back to normal eating. You stop the restrictive sort of dieting, and then whatever your body composition looks like from there is where your body fat is comfortable. You're going to carry a little bit of body fat. That's fine. Like I said.
So I think it's very important to explain.
Yeah.
And even me, I'm at that stage where now, We all know 5-6 kilos more is going to get me to a very shredded place, but we can't attain that. And even bodybuilders, they have off seasons and what the case is. But generally speaking, when you
from
go
a health,
people see pictures, right? People see pictures on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You know, people have gone, they've got
False
tan,
expectations,
they've got pictures. You know, they're standing there for what the case is. How realistic is it to stay in that place?
Yeah, you got to look at it. There's so many different things. There's, lights, cameras, oil, trimming the body hair off. There's so many different things that go into it. Just to kind of,
You got that issue, not me, bro.
to sort of like, you can stand under a light that's not so good, and you take a picture, and then you go under a good down lighting, and you can transform yourself completely. And like I said, this is why I say just educate yourself, and you're going to be able to look through the rubbish. You're going to be able to look through the BS, and you can see where the lie is and where the truth is. And like I was saying, it's just being able to maintain a controlled level of body fat, not restrictive.
What range is that? Is that between the ranges of?
I don't know. I can't remember. I
If
think
you can't remain in the ranges, but like 6 to 8% is crazy, right?
Yeah, I think maybe like 12 to 16% is realistic. Dropping below 10% is going to have a. It's going to have a sort of knock-off effect. Yeah.
Especially for your organs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, your mood and all of that. Your body doesn't want to be there. It's like, feed me, let me be normal. Let me live a little bit normal.
To the listeners, and I think we're getting closer to wrapping things up, right? But generally speaking, what are some pieces of feedback you would give to people, to listeners, to us, to anybody listening, from your professional perspective, that what are, let's say, 5 things you tell people that, let's say somebody's overweight, let's say somebody wants to start the fitness journey, wherever they are. What are 5 ingredients that you would say, look, start with these 5 things and you're on the road, you're going to start? What would you say is the first thing, second, third?
The first thing is get started. Do something, man. Don't sit there waiting for tomorrow.
What does that look like? So, what does that look like? Does it mean...
okay, so somebody that's completely... is it sedentary?
Sedentary,
yeah.
You're looking at me like I know the answer, bro. I don't know what you're saying, bro.
Sedentary, somebody that's not moving a lot.
Yeah, someone that's not moving a lot. Office job. On the desk. Not eating like healthy sort of. Doesn't maintain a healthy lifestyle. The first thing you can actually do is just get up, go for a walk, do something, man. Go for a jog once a week. Bump that up to twice a week, bump that up to 3 times a week. Find something that's going to allow you to stay motivated.
So the first thing is to get started. Let's get moving first. Yeah. So movement is the first thing. Okay. What do you say the second?
The second is use something that's going to distract you in a good way to kind of keep you motivated a little bit more. It could be looking forward to that one. Some people are obsessed with coffee. Coffee as well. So I look forward to that morning coffee, and that's what wakes me up. I'm like, yes. I'm thinking about it. I'll go to sleep the night before, and I'm like, I can't wait to have my espresso in the morning. It's like, it's weird, but
living a lonely life there, bro.
Yeah. No, trust me. A lot of people listening to this can relate. He's looking at me like, he's looking at me, he can relate, man. He's got his coffee right there.
Espresso,
man.
like, you have espresso?
Yeah, man.
That's disgusting, bro.
Strong, nice little shot, man. Everyone's got that. But yeah, like I said, you got to find a method that sort of works for you.
So what is that? So coffee is one of them. I hate coffee, but
some people like listening to motivational. I love listening to motivational
talks.
Podcast,
okay.
Yeah, so I'd wake up in the morning. I'd have. You got to find a routine and a system that works for you. So for me, it looks like this.
Okay.
So I'd wake up, use the bathroom, do whatever I got to do. Hydration first.
What does hydration mean for that? What do you mean by hydration?
So load up, and you've been sleeping. Yeah. You've been sleeping the whole
night.
So
you mean hydration by water?
Yeah.
Okay.
So drink water, coconut water, anything that's got any sort of anything that's going to hydrate you quickly.
Okay.
So I do that. I do a little bit of stretching. Just kind of get things going. I'll make sure I'm moving around, making sure get my body woken up, and then I'll have my caffeine hit. Like I said. That give me, and then I put my podcast on. I'll listen to something that's a motivation. Something that's gonna.
This issue about caffeine, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to be. Even that's a good routine.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would recommend people to have caffeine in the morning? Is that something you would like? As in, should they?
You don't need to. You don't need to. Like I said, it's just personal preference.
Okay.
I feel as though I like the smell of it. I like the taste of it. I like the little boost that it gives me. But like I said, you don't want to be dependent on caffeine consistently,
So excellent. So you're saying first thing is to start moving.
Yeah.
Second thing is build a routine or a routine in the morning, a
yeah,
system in the
yeah.
morning that you know you're going through emotion, so that it becomes so repetitive, so addictive that when you're not doing it, you feel like, okay, something's not going right here.
Like I said, you don't necessarily need to wake up in the morning to have some sort of fitness journey. You know, train in the evening, train at night. Find the time for it. You know, but you need to find a system that works for you.
Number
For
three.
example, like yourself, you're a busy man. You've only got that slot in the morning to train, you know, but you get it in. That works for you. You know, Masood, you know, he might have a little bit more time. He say, you know what, I like training in the evening. That works well for me. But you need to find out. You need to sit down, write down, you know, how it sort of works for you, and you know, find it.
So that's one. So we've got two things there: movement. We've got a routine. Number three, what do you think is the next thing that the person should be doing? So we said 5 things in it. So number one was the whole moving man. Number 2 was the whole routine. Number 3, would you say, what about mindset? Is that in the top 3, top 5?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts in your mind first. I said it before many times. Get it right in your mind first, and everything else is going to take care of it.
What should you put in your mind? Should it be?
Like you got to want it.
Okay.
There's one thing just saying it, and the other thing is, you know, you got to take action. Take action. Get your mindset right, man. Find something that triggers you. Some people, you know, they'll go through a certain patch in their life, you know, that kind of bring their self-esteem down.
Sure.
You know, how hard are you willing to bounce back up? How hard are you willing to sort of, you know, break through that plateau and really try and push yourself? You need something to motivate yourself, man. You know, some people go through, you know, they might go through a breakup, or, you know, something might happen, and that might just give them the motivation, you know, to kickstart their fitness journey or do something well in their life. You know, or someone, like, for example, me, when I was, I used to get criticised all the time, like, you can't hit the ball off the square. And it used to really bug me, man. That got me inside the gym, man. That got me inside the gym and start lifting heavy weights.
How important do you think that is for, like, people?
So you need to find it. It's like everyone's psychological state is different. You know, everyone's different in how they sort of operate in the mind. So, like I said, whatever triggers you, whatever gets you going, find a method and stick to it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about number 4? And number 4, would you say, what about, like, so let's say you've got the mindset, you've got the consistency, you've got the routine set up. What would you say the point number 4 is? Would you say the point number 4 is, let's say you fall off?
Yeah.
Because that's gonna happen, right? You're gonna get the mindset, you're gonna have your routine, and then let's say you have a week where you flopped, or you have a 2-3 days where you've not. How important do you say bouncing back is? Like bouncing back to the routine.
Like I said, what's gonna dictate the results is consistency. No human is perfect. And you're always going to have times where, like, you know, you're going to have a good day, you're going to have a bad day. But like I said, don't write yourself off just because you had one bad day of eating. The main thing is, say there's 7 days in a week, right? 6 days you've been on point, and one day, you know, you ended up getting really busy and your training went off. You didn't get your training in, and your diet was off. Does that mean that everything you're going to continue back to that lifestyle now? It doesn't matter, man. 6 days you were on point, like, you know, you were consistent. So like I said, just find a method that sort of works for you, and stick to it.
I heard that if you eat, it's like 3,500 calories above your maintenance to get 1 pound of body fat. Is that true? Have you heard that? It's like 3,500 calories to gain 1 pound of body fat. So if people like are eating like a consistent routine, and they have one, like, it's gonna happen, they have like one day that they have a cheat day, or maybe a cheat weekend,
it will just set you back a little bit more, so those average calories are going to change.
But have you heard that, like, 3,500 calories for like 1 pound of body fat? Because I heard
not directly.
I've heard the reverse of that, which is to lose 1 pound, you need to burn 3,500 calories.
So like I said,
I've heard the reverse of that, but not in terms of the other way around. But I don't know.
The bigger the calorie surplus, the larger amount of calories that you take consistently over time, the quicker your weight gain is going to be. Similar to if you slash your calories in half very quickly, and then you raise the expenditure, your weight loss is going to dip very quickly too.
And I think
it's the same in reverse. Like I said, if you're going crazy surplus, you're not going to be putting on muscle in that. A lot of it's going to be water and fat going up quickly.
And the last point was the final point is what would you say the last point? We've got 4 down there. The last point would be what? Would it be just have a goal and just
momentum, man.
Yeah.
I've got this stuck on my wall, man. Every day, like I said, I have a routine that works for me. I look at it, and it says momentum. Consistency, momentum.
That's the takeaway point. Keep the momentum going. I think if anybody had do you have any closing remark? I mean, from my perspective, I just want to say it was an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to be training soon, probably today, tomorrow. We're going to be getting a session in.
If you wake up on time.
No, I'm always waking up on time. I'm in the gym at 7:30 every day.
You said 4:30, bro. Usually.
I don't know 4:30, man. Let's not talk about that. You know, keep me some integrity. But I'm joking. No, I think it was an absolute pleasure having you here. I'm sure we're going to have you back on here in the future as well.
Yeah.
Again, all the listeners, check out Jahngir's Athletical Pro page out on Instagram. Check him out. He shares a lot of beneficial things there. Hit him up, ask him any fitness questions. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to respond to him. And I think anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, man, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And yeah, see you guys later.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
No problem, man.
Brilliant.